Chapter 26, Book of Matthew, no commentary, and a reading from. When Jesus finished all these words, he said to his disciples, "You know that in 2 days' time it will be Passover, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified." Then the chief priests and the elders of the people assembled in the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas. Then they consulted together to arrest Jesus by treachery and put him to death. But they said, "Not during the festival, and that there may be a riot among the people." Now when Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, a woman came up to him with an alabaster jar of costly perfumed oil and poured it on his head while he was reclining at the table. When the disciples saw this, they were indignant and said, "Why this waste? It could have been sold for so much, then the money be given to the poor." Since Jesus knew this, he said to them, "Why do you make trouble for this woman? She has done a good thing for me. The poor you always have with you, but you not always have me. In pouring of this perfume oil upon my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. Amen, I say to you, wherever this gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be spoken of in memory of her." Then one of the 12, who was called Judas Iscariot, went to the high priest and said, What are you willing to give me if I hand him over to you?" They paid him 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he looked for an opportunity to hand him over. On the first day of the feast of the unleavened bread, the disciples approached Jesus and said, Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover?" He said, "Go to the city of a certain man and tell him, the teacher says, my appointed time draws near. In your house I shall celebrate the Passover with my disciples." The disciples did as Jesus has ordered and prepared the Passover. When it was evening, he reclined at the table with the 12. While they were eating, he said, Amen, I say to you, one of you will betray me." Surely distressed at this, they began to say to him, and one after the other, "Surely it's not I, Lord." He said in reply, "He who has dipped his hands into the dish with me is the one who will betray me. The Son of Man indeed goes as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. For it would be better for that man if he had never been born." Then Judas, his betrayer, said in reply, "Surely it's not I, Rabbi." He answered, "You have said so. You said so." While they were eating, Jesus took the bread and said the blessing, broke it, and gave it to his disciples, and said, "Here, take and eat. This is my body." Then he took a cup and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. For this is my blood of my covenant, which will be shed on behalf of the many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, from now on I shall not drink this fruit from the vine until the day I drink it with you new in the kingdom of my Father." Then after singing a hymn, he went out to the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus said to them, This night all of you will have your faith in me shaken. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be dispersed. But after I have been raised up, I shall go before you to Galilee." Jesus said to him in reply, Though all may have their faith in you, shaken mine would never be. Peter said to him in reply, "Though all may have their faith in you shaken, mine will never be." Jesus said to him, "Amen, I say to you, on this very night, before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to him, Even though I should have to die with you, I will not deny you." All the disciples spoke otherwise. Then Jesus came to them into a place called Gethsemane, and said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took along Peter and his 2 sons of Zebedee and began to feel sorrow and distress. Then he said to them, my soul is sorrowful even to death. Remain here and keep watch with me. He advanced a little and fell prostrate in prayer, saying, My Father. He advanced a little and fell prostrate in prayer, saying, My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet nor as I will, but as you will. Then he returned to his disciples. He found them asleep, and said to Peter, So you could not keep watch with me for 1 hour? Watch and pray that you may not undergo the test. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Withdrawing a second time, he prayed again. My Father, if it is not done. Oh boy. Withdrawing a second time, he prayed again. My Father, if it is not possible, that this cup pass without my drinking, your will will be done. Then he returned once more and found them asleep, for they could not keep their eyes open. He left them and withdrew again and prayed a third time, saying the same thing again. Then he returned to his disciples and said to them, Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? Behold, the hour is at hand when the Son of Man, who is to be handed over to sinners. Get up, let us go. Look, my betrayer is at hand. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived, accompanied by a large crowd of swords and clubs who had come from the chief priests and the elders of the people. His betrayer had arranged a sign with them, saying, The man I shall kiss is the one. Arrest him. Immediately they went over to Jesus and said, Hail, Rabbi, and they kissed him. Jesus answered him, Friend, Jesus answered them, Friend, do you do what you have come for? Then stepping forward, they laid hands on Jesus and arrested them. And behold, one of those who accompanied Jesus put his hand on his sword, drew it, struck his high priest's servant, cutting off his ear. What? Oh no! Stuck. The button's stuck. Oh.